All right, everybody, it's Adam and Mike with Just the Tips Podcast coming to you virtually once again. This is working out pretty good for us.
Yeah, and I got to get a little practice in, so I'm out back right now. So it's going to work out all right.
You've been tearing it up, dude. You're tearing it up. It's exciting. I don't even know if you want to start the podcast with your new handicap. That might be the right thing to say.
We might jump into it. Episode, what are we, 44?
44. There you go.
44?
That's my favorite.
Episode 44.
My favorite football number. That was Tom Rathman from the 1980s and 90s 49ers. I always thought that 44 was like
beast.
The toughest football player on the field. It was always a fullback, who was like a refrigerator, So
yeah, fullback's not even a thing in the NFL anymore.
No, it's like a third down back, I guess, is the equivalent.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, the Niners got huge check now, so.
Yep.
So he's a beast.
There you go. But
all right, let's touch base with the sponsors,
right.
Okay? Sundog, we're rocking Sundogs. You got your Sundogs on?
No, I'm out here in the backyard. It's nice and shady, so I don't need the Sundogs right this second. But the minute I get into the sun, Sundogs all the way. I feel a lawn mowing coming on, so they've been on every lawn mow. So.
All right, shaft wraps. All right, get your shaft wraps, guys. Even Adam yesterday when we were out at a special place, the guys that we were playing with even brought it up. And, I think you're being very modest when you explain it to them. But, dude, listen, I like to be different, right? Like and you do too. You like to be a little flashy or different. I just don't want the same stuff that everyone has. So throwing the shaft wraps on the clubs, love it. I actually was thinking, dude, the 58 came out yesterday. I'm not going to lie. The 58 came out of the bunker, and it needs a shaft wrap. So that's got to go on, and I think that's your job. I think you're the shaft wrap installer.
The shaft wrap putter on her. Nobody puts on a better shaft wrap than me. Many people say Adam puts on the best shaft wrap. But we got a solid black with just the tips. We got a camo black with just the tips. I got an extra couple, so I keep in my bag. So the next one to hit us up, just say, "Hey, Adam, give me a shaft wrap. I got one for you." So if you see me live in person, grab one.
Yeah. And then, who are we missing? Oh,
Wedgwoods.
Dude, our boy Custom Wedgwoods. Custom Wedgwoods, dude. Ken from Custom Wedgwoods. I'm gonna put his information down below here. Check out his stuff, guys. He showed us some stuff in person, and this stuff is some amazing woodwork. I dabbled a little bit in some woodwork just because, I like to be, working with my hands and all masculine and stuff. I kind of got embarrassed, to say that I did it when I saw his stuff.
So what's it?
Because it's just another level.
So just to clarify, because this is a contact that you made, you guys have hit it off right away. But when you go to like a nice course, and there's a yardage marker on the range, or they have a specialty sign indicating something, usually it's a vinyl sign with some stickers on it. This is some next level stuff. This is half-inch thick wood. But it's made of exotic woods. He was showing us tiger woods and teaks and
dude.
I think he's got.
I felt like I needed gloves when I was holding that.
For real, but they're shaped out, and basically what they are is yardage markers for your backyard. So they come with these nice spikes.
Well, they're
on
for
them.
everything. So
what we would buy them for. You'd put them out in your backyard 20 yards away and have a 20-yard marker and a 50-yard marker.
Yeah, so he has a backyard set. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever you need. He also makes stuff for your man cave. So if you had a simulator room and you want to have cool little signs up or whatever it is that you want, he can design it and make it for you. But on course stuff, any of the signs that you see, even the little cart signs, instead of having that ugly little green generic one, he can make cool ones that are just a lot nicer, but it just gives that course that extra fanciness.
Yeah. They're sexy.
And then I think I think my favorite one that he makes is that range sign on the proper way to hit divots on the range instead of like being scattered everywhere. You know, you want those nice long lines. I don't really have them here, but that one's a really cool one, and he can customize and put your logo or anything on there. He's got some stuff coming out this Christmas for some specialty stuff that he's going to show off, and make sure you guys are checking that out.
Yeah, no, very, very cool, and he's a great golfer and a hell of a nice guy, and a great partner
And he
to the
bombs
Just
the ball,
Tim,
dude.
Just the Tips family. Dude, he crushes the ball.
Dude,
holy cow,
crushes
yeah,
the ball.
with just a great.
What did he
swing.
have in on 18? What did he have in on 18? I think I hit a 4-iron.
Yeah, I had a 6
I
iron.
had 179.
Yeah,
I had 179 going in, and he was at least 60 yards ahead of me.
He just and it's like effortless. He's not like over swinging. He's got a great swing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's better, his wood or his driving of his woods, like his driver. But he's like the sundog of wood sculpting, you know. So again,
Are you trying to make a dad joke?
listen, I'm failing miserably, obviously. But
I'm gonna tell, because we're gonna get into Myrtle Beach. We're gonna get into our summer trip because I want to talk about these courses. But dude, we were driving down. It was you, Maddie, and my daughter in your car, and it was me, Lisa, and my other two daughters in my car. And we're driving down. We're like, we were probably south of Richmond,
Yeah.
I believe, maybe. I don't really know exactly where we were, but we split.
Yep.
Right, you went one way through the valley of the mountains, and I actually went down and around off the side of the mountain.
Yep.
And we raced. We unwrittenly raced.
Cannonball run.
But I didn't see you for, that was probably what, maybe
2 hours.
2.5 hours
like
for
that.
3 hours. You got out of the car and told me a dad joke that you told Maddie and was still cracking up about it 3 hours later.
I don't know what
It was something about the cows.
I don't know what
The
happens
cows or something.
when you become a dad, because I didn't have dad jokes before I was a dad, and they just come to me. I think it's a gift that happens after birth. But yeah, we were driving through rural Virginia, and on the side of this big giant hill was all these cows out there. And I looked at my daughter and I said, "You know what's great about the cows walking up and down that hill, don't you?" And she goes, "No." I go, "They got big calves."
And you were chuckling
Come
3
on,
hours later
that's
about
funny.
it.
That's funny, right?
Sure.
I thought
Sure.
I beat you too, because again,
Man.
dude, I was doing everything I could to get there. You got me by a couple minutes. Anyway, it was a tremendous trip
Yeah.
to Myrtle Beach. I mean, again, you know, kind of talks about where we are in our editing process. Here, the leaves are falling, and we're talking about our end of summer vacation in August. But you know, stop number one was somewhere very special. We've been teasing it all week, actually for 2 weeks on our shorts. So if you're with us on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, and YouTube Shorts, you're seeing we fell in love with a course that up until recently, I don't want to say it was unknown, but certainly was unheralded as the destination golf course that it's meant to be. I mean, you guys know that, you know, Mike and I love Mike Strantz. I fell in love with Caledonia, even calling it my spirit course. We formed very strong relationships with Caledonia and True Blue. But once we figured out those were Mike Strantz courses, we said, what else could we play? And Tobacco Road is getting the big love, and it has for many years. You know, when you talk to people in the Northeast and they say, "I went south," they automatically say, "I stopped in, I played Tobacco Road." But a lesser known, or until recently lesser known Mike Strantz creation was this beautiful course by the name of Tot Hill Farms. It's a little off the beaten trail. It's more inland. It's in a little town of Asheboro, North Carolina, just south of with High Point, where all the good furniture comes from. But like I said, man, it didn't disappoint. And like I said, you've made contact with Rob Wooten, their social media guy out there, and they welcomed us with open arms, and it couldn't have been a better experience.
Yep. Yeah. So, dude, I mean, you kind of you gave the short story, which is great because there's so much that we can say about Tot Hill Farm and the history of it and Mike Strantz and everything like that. We should just do a whole podcast about Mike Strantz.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm going as Mike Strantz for Halloween, just so you know.
You better get working on that hair.
I need the mustache. I need the big handlebar mustache.
But no, Tot Hill Farm, there's a lot of history and we could talk all day about it, guys. But long story short, and I'm actually saying this, Adam, is long story short is go.
Yeah.
Go there and play. Our camera does not do that course justice. I don't think any camera in the world can do that course justice. You have to go and see that course with your own eyes and play it and feel something special there, guys. I mean, I think I want to say that we got a lucky day just because of we talked about the dew on the grass and the sun glaring down and it was a beautiful day. But I think every day at Tot Hill Farm is a special day.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. I'm not.
No. I mean, last podcast we kind of ended by talking about, the best part being the rocks and the range. But again, if that was the teaser, to the pod, to this podcast, if we're talking about the range with such reverence, and we're talking about the placement of the of the decorative rocks, just understand that the rest of this course really brings something very, very special. It's just not something you're going to get from your local muni. It's not something you're going to get from your big resort courses. Matter of fact, I got a chance to interview some of the bag staff, these young guys, and there's nothing in Asheboro. I mean, there's a really fun restaurant. There's a nice Hampton Inn, but the
Kickback Jacks.
But the destination in Asheboro is Tot Hill Farms. It's not like Pinehurst, where a whole golf community's been built up, or Myrtle Beach, where everything is golf. This happens to be a golf course that was built in this town, and the town is just there, and the golf course just happens to be there. You have to go out of your way to get to this place.
Yes. I mean, that's coming from a tourist perspective. So anybody who lives in Asheboro, North Carolina, we don't mean it that way. We went there for Tot Hill Farm.
But it's not by the beach. There's not an amusement park. There's not a boardwalk. It's not a resort town. It's an any town USA. It's a beautiful town. Everybody says Asheboro is beautiful. But like I said, the reason why people fly in from all over the world is because of Tot Hill Farm.
Yeah. It's something special. So guys, if you haven't checked out, I put out 2 long medium forms of content on YouTube, a bunch of short stuff on TikTok and Instagram. Please go check those out. But again, I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, is the camera does not do that place justice, right? So I'm trying to go back through on a computer and start putting all the editing together. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, remember this hole, or remember that shot, or remember when I was behind that rock, and then I go and try to find it on the computer and try to start putting it together. And I'm like, dude, this cameraman, or you know what I mean? Whoever the cameraman is terrible. But the way I envision that hole in my head, because I saw it with my own eyes, is totally different the way I'm watching it on the screen or on the phone. So
let me give you
go check that place out.
Just a couple of highlights, a couple of things that stuck out big time to me, and a couple of them we might have mentioned before, but they're certainly worth re-mentioning. I mean, first off, just the drive up. I mean, you're in farm country, and you're seeing all these horse farms, these pretty little houses and stuff. And then it looks like a farm, except in the fields, there's perfectly manicured fairways and greens with flags sticking out of them. The neighborhoods
and beautiful rocks.
Yeah, and the neighborhoods that kind of border it, and it's not like a Myrtle Beach course where the course meanders through the houses. Some of the houses happen to be close to the course, but they're not golf course houses. It's not a golf course neighborhood.
Yeah, no.
But the neighborhood's beautiful. The way you come up. I had grandparents that grew up, that had a farm in eastern Pennsylvania, And they had a barn and they had a dirt road. They had a big field and a vegetable garden and old tractors and an old truck and stuff like that. That's what it made me feel like. It made me feel like I was back at my grandparents' farm in the early '80s. It's white rail fences, it's tin roofs, it's John Deere tractors, and again, some of it's placed there like Disney World would have taken the time to place it there to make it perfectly aesthetic.
Dude, we talked about that in the cart. I got to get a lot of that GoPro footage out of the cart, because we talked about like Mike Strantz is like Walt Disney of designing golf courses. We talked about that because there's a tunnel that goes underneath. You're going from 10 to 11 and then go over to 12, and 12 comes back underneath the tunnel. And it's just one of the most Disney-esque things I've ever seen on a golf course, but like in the coolest way,
in a natural way.
It's just
it's
like
not insisting upon
it's
itself.
so perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So like, if you guys have ever been to Disney, like they, even when you're waiting in line, they try to immerse you into the ride itself. And that is exactly what Mike Strantz did at this place.
So like some of the highlights, like just the pro shop clubhouse kind of combo is like being in somebody's old farmhouse. The locker room / bathrooms are like some like if you watched Yellowstone and the Dutton's house, with Kevin Costner and Beth Dutton, it's that kind of feel. It's fancy upscale farm. By the way, I was wearing my Mike Strantz Tot Hill Farms hoodie because it's the perfect fall weather for it. I bought it, but their pro shop is awesome, just really well appointed. They have a little area. It's like a kitchen, where you can grab a hot dog or a beer.
But it was like a kind of like a self-serve little, that was kind of cool, man.
So you grab a hot dog or a beer.
Check out the video. You just go around in there. You grab stuff out of the cooler. You grab your hot dogs. You kind of do your thing, and then you just go around to the pro shop and pay for it.
Yeah, yep. And you make it quick.
It was awesome.
But the practice facility was so good that I almost missed our tee time. You're like, hey, we got to get going.
Let's go, dude.
But
I want to play this course.
Yeah, so just to point out a couple of the highlighted holes. I mean, I know your long format videos kind of come out and really highlight these, but as a teaser, the first hole is a dramatic tee shot, and it's so much fun. And the one thing I love about Mike Strantz is he's very forgiving about tee shots. He lets you spray it a little bit and doesn't penalize you. For the most part.
Yeah.
Unlike that bastard Robert Trent Jones.
Oh man. And his son.
His son who just adds fairway bunkers to already tight courses. So big dramatic tee shots on number one. Number two, the monolithic rocks that we thought were like, wow, those are big, those are impressive, and shouldn't have been in play except for where you found yourself. But then three, I thought was quintessential Strantz, because not only do you get a good size par three, but there must have been 12 different places to tee off on this par three.
And it wasn't one behind another.
No.
It was
here's three steps up to a tier. Here's four rocks that go down to another one. Here's a wooden set of steps that go up to another one. Here's a trail that goes up to another one. Here's a cart path.
Do you know what I was thinking though?
To another one. What were you thinking?
Do you think that they just change the pin location and the tee location, or do you think based on pin location is a different tee?
You know what? No, I think they probably rotate it and mix it around, and then rotate.
You don't think there's a rhyme and reason to different angles, to different pins?
Not on regular play day, but I bet on tournament day, if they have a like a mid-am or a good amateur tournament, they could be a real bad.
College of Charleston just had the girls' College of Charleston had a little tournament there against like 3 or 4 other schools, I believe.
Yeah.
And the girls at College of Charleston won.
Oh, that's awesome! Congratulations. But if you wanted to be a bastard on that hole, you'd put the tees way back and play well over 200. You tuck the pin, middle
Back right.
back right, or I was thinking middle right because there's that big hump in the middle. Would be impossible to access it with the creek over top. You don't want to be short in the bunker. You don't want to be long over the creek. That would be miserable. Or you could play the thing probably 140 yards, probably less, probably 120 yards with the tee up and the pin front left, and have just a little chip shot down the hill, and make it very accessible.
The hole was awesome.
But what made it so cool, though, wasn't the fact that it had all these different tee and pin locations. Number 4, you have to hit your tee shot on the par 5 over the green of number 4. Come on, who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
That was so cool. And the thing is it didn't have to be designed that way, right? Like,
No.
I don't think Strantz is one of those designers that only has a small area to work with and squeezes holes in and stuff like that. I think he wants to do it to be like, this is a Strantz course and this is what you're getting.
Well, you say one of the things that
go ahead.
You said one of the things that makes a Strantz course is a little back and forth. Like sometimes you finish on a green, you got to backtrack up to a tee box a little bit,
Yeah.
So, but this one, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, so you're coming diagonally down off of 3 tee to 3 green, and then 4 tee box is, if you're standing on 3 tee, 4 tee box is to the right of the green, and the fairway is behind you to the left.
But both tee boxes are very protected.
Really cool.
But it was crazy because we were watching guys hit off of 3 onto the green, basically 50 yards in front of us, and watching their shots land in front of us while we're teeing off over the shots they're hitting. I mean, theoretically, 2 balls can hit in the air off of 2 holes going directly where they're supposed to.
What's the you're a history buff. Those 2 bullets that hit each other.
World War I. Yep.
Like, and it's in some museum, the Smithsonian Museum or something. I'm sure you know.
So World War I was so interesting, and there was so many bullets, and it went on for so long, and there were so many people that there's actually 2 bullets, one going this way, and one had pierced the other bullets as they were shooting back and forth to each other, and they do hold that in a museum. I don't know if it's ever happened.
So that would be kind of cool, is 2 balls hit each other, and then they just put it in a trophy stand at Tot Hill Farm.
Exactly. So
that'd be pretty sweet.
So you could go hole by hole, but a couple of the other standouts are number 10. I mean, again, you could say anything you wanted about any of the holes, but number 10 was very unique in the fact that you got the short par 4. And on the GPS and on the map, you look, and it looks like there's like a bunker or maybe a small pond, like kind of in the middle of the fairway. And as you look down there, there's kind of a hill and a rock wall. And when you get down there, you realize that the whole thing, it's a rock wall with a cart path in between it with a cul-de-sac. And I still don't understand what the purpose of it is. I don't know why it's there, other than to be a pain in the ass to hit over. Because Mike Strantz. Yeah.
Because Mike Strantz. That's it. Because Mike Strantz.
But then
that's it. And it made you think, like, you've never played there before. You're like looking at the GPS and you're like, dude, there's a bunker there. What is that? And I'm looking, and it's just built up, and I'm like, I don't think that's a bunker. That'd be kind of cool though if it was a raised up bunker.
So it could have been, but then that
it was pretty cool.
The 10th hole, the 10th green complex. They said the only place in the world where you drive underneath the green to go to 11. 11 was an awesome par 3. 12 was a ridiculous shot-by-shot par 4 with an epic green that was attached to the other one. And then it dumps you out on 13, which is Strantz's backyard, which is another epic par 3.
Strantz's backyard.
It was so cool. So
which we need to make sure we got video of that. I got to find that video.
Okay. I know you
hit
mentioned.
A great shot.
And then, 15, or 14, not an unforgettable par 4, but in the mix of everything else was like a little bit of a breather. And then you get to 16, you get to this par 3 that has.
It was a breather for you. It wasn't a breather for me.
That's what I'm saying, though. But just from a beauty standpoint and, an interesting standpoint, it had, if it was on any other course, you'd be like, wow, that's a really interesting hole. But it kind of paled in comparison to everything that was going on.
Well,
and then you go to
in between those 2 par 3s, yeah.
And then you go to 16, and they got this unbelievable waterfall and this really ridiculous.
No, that's 15.
15's the waterfall.
That's 15.
Okay.
Yeah, 15.
Oh,
beautiful.
You're right.
Like, dude, I got so excited. I'm like, let me get the drone out. I need the drone right now. And I'm trying to set the drone up, and all of a sudden I just get these error messages, error, like warning. Not realizing the airport's literally
at the other side of those trees.
Not even a mile away.
Yep, and then flying little Cessnas.
So couldn't get the drone up right there in time. So we didn't get too much aerial footage of that, but that hole. Again, it's tough to pick, dude. It's tough. I think Tot Hill Farm put something out on their stories the other day, asking like, what's your favorite hole at Tot Hill Farm? And I'm like, dude, how do you even answer this?
I answered it number 3 and number 12 and number 10 and number 13 and number 18
yeah, you can't
and
pick
number 1. I could rank them. It'd be like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. But favorite? No. And that's the thing is the forgettable holes are amazing. 16 and 17 are awesome holes. They're forgettable because they pale in comparison.
Dude,
I
like 16. I like 16.
Sure.
16 was pretty cool. That's the one where it has a rock overhanging in the bunker. But it's a par 5, and you said this best. Like Mike Strantz, he's not one of those guys that's going to kill you with distance, right? His par 3s are fair. They're fair distance. All his stuff is distances, right? They're totally fine. But you're not reaching his par 5s in 2 and holding the green or having an easy putt for eagle. Like, you're not doing that because he's putting all this trouble up there that's going to catch you. Like, you're not running one up on the green on your second shot.
No.
On most of his par 5s.
No.
Like, you're not getting lucky and squibbing one up there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that hole was pretty cool to me.
Yeah, for like
I threw my third shot long.
It's like a 460-yard par 5. That's it.
Yeah,
and it's a 3-shot
But on
hole.
your second shot, you have to carry water, or right short of the green, you got to carry water. Yep. And then he has this narrow green. It's wide, but it's not deep.
Yep.
I threw mine long, and it didn't come back down. And then I had this crazy putt, and I tapped this thing, and you were like, "It's not that fast." And then this thing like rolls over the lip on the side.
Yep.
17, like you said, fairway, your tee shot and even like the landing, anything in the fairway is nothing crazy, but that green was awesome up alongside that rock wall. So I love me a good rock wall.
So, and it's right next to the road, and it's right next to a fence. And the front of it is, we were talking about, because where the U.S. Open was played this year, they kept talking about, like, the green is big, but the usable part of the green, the part where you can land the ball on, is actually significantly smaller. This was the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a giant green, but the first 10 yards on weren't really a green because they're going to roll right back down into the fairway. And if you go over right,
10 yards on the left.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah.
So
I remember when we were driving in that day, the pin was like way in the back,
three
steps off the back,
off the rock wall.
And I had like already planned in my head like what I was going to do, and then we got there, and the superintendent moved the pins by the time we got there, so it was all right. Even though I did hit the front of the green and it rolled all the way back down, so that got me.
Yep. And then 18 is a zigzaggy par 5 up the hill. It does have some teeth and some real length to it, and some well designed rock walls. But again, it finishes to a barn, with the logo on the side. It's just
the famous barn.
It's just a really cool finish, to a great day. But I was thinking about this the other day. How many places have we gone where after the round we just hang out? Right. You just sit there and have a beer and hang out. I mean, and then don't want to leave. Like I was thinking, the big lunches that we had at at Champions Gate. That's one thing. When you're on a trip with 8 guys and kind of the the last hurrah.
Yeah. You just like, for me, I just want to soak in what is Tot Hill Farm. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to say hi to everybody. I wanted to sit in those rocking chairs on the front porch and just
sit, rocking chair, wide plank wraparound porch, American flag hanging on the front, sipping an IPA, looking out over the course, talking to the people coming off the course. You just wanted to stay. I could have stayed there all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know why we didn't. I mean, we did stick around for a while, but
yeah. Yep. Well,
it was a good time.
exactly.
But not to rush off of Tot Hill Farm, but I'm putting out a ton of content with them, so it's not like I'm rushing it. But we did have a couple more pretty cool events going on the rest of that trip, which we've talked about during the summer when we were on the trip. But then we drove down to Myrtle Beach, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, great Myrtle Beach trip. I mean, you planned the whole thing. We had the families, we had the beach house. We had a very relaxing, almost full 2 weeks. Again, the house was right down the street from the Wachasaw Plantation, which ended up being a really nice practice facility for us. And like I said, really good jump-off point for our 3 destination courses of the trip.
Yeah, so I mean, I think especially for us, every time we go to Myrtle Beach, you got to play Caledonia and True Blue
in the same day.
And I think for you guys too, and do it in the same day.
Yeah.
You got the daylight, do it. And both times we played True Blue first, and then Caledonia, and I think that's the way to do it. I really do. You got to come up 18. You got to come up 18 with the sun off to the side, just kind of glaring onto the clubhouse. I think it's the way to do it. But we had two beautiful rounds there. It was a good day. Yeah. It was a great day.
So Caledonia and True Blue, the original Just the Tips partners, they appreciate what we do.
Mike Strantz.
And we appreciate what they do because, for those of you who don't know, True Blue is the younger of the 2 courses, but specifically designed for wounded warriors and service people. So, you got this great clubhouse with a blue metal roof, the folded flags, the flags of honors on the inside. We play with a lot of veterans. Our Thursday night partner is a Vietnam vet. One of our golf trip partners, also a Vietnam vet. We appreciate what they do so much. True Blue really gets it, so whether it's, just taking good care of them with their foundation, their opportunities to play golf, or the donations that they take on the course. Again, they just really appreciate it. But to me, True Blue and Caledonia is real vacation golf. It's resort golf. It's championship golf. It's a day that you say, I'm going to Myrtle Beach. I'm playing golf for a day. I'm waking up early in the morning. I'm getting to the course at dawn. I'm getting, the guys greet me at the thing. I tip well. I get my warm up in. I get my coffee, my egg sandwich, and I head out onto the course for the day. They just do everything well there. You're gonna see the cart lady, 4 times, twice on the front, twice on the back. The pace of play is going to be appropriate.
It is a good. It is a well-oiled machine at both places, and they work well together. Yeah. So they know. Oh, are you playing Caledonia later? Like, all right, so you're 7:30, so we're going to make you a 1:30 tee time or whatever it is. I'll give you guys time to get over there, grab something to eat, this and that. They work well together. It's just a well-staffed, well-run, great people. And the guy's name's Bart Romano.
Yeah,
love
Bart.
him.
Go see
no
him.
relation. Actually, it's funny because the guy in the pro shop at True Blue is named Bart, but that's not Bart Romano. Bart Romano is the head pro. Yep. And I was kind of surprised. I'm like, dude, you're Bart. He's like, yeah, not me. I'm like, well, there's 2 Barts. But Finn scooters, get Finn scooters when you go there, guys. You have to get them.
Yeah.
It's really something special. So
Caledonia
tons
was
of people
good for
watch the short.
Yeah. Caledonia was great for the Finn scooters in the fall. A little bit narrower course, more bridges and things like that. True Blue is just a monster, wide open, giant space. I mean, they probably don't want to hear this, but we're out there doing like big circles in the middle of the fairway with the Finn scooters. By the way,
well, there's some room at True Blue where you can zip around.
Yeah. Yep, you can get those things up to full speed with full comfort. You know, and the fairways are just big and wide. But they, again, I think we've mentioned it before. You feel like you're doing 100 miles an hour. You look at the video and you're like, there's a lady jogging with her baby passing you in the background. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, you definitely feel cooler on there than you look.
Yep.
But I don't care.
No. So
I don't care because they are fun. They're cool. The bag is right here. It's just so cool.
So, by the way, they have a new tagline from corporate headquarters that we follow on LinkedIn, and they're calling it Finn Scooters, the single rider movement is what they're talking about. And they're saying a larger portion of people prefer not to have the old style 2 people in a car thing. You know, they want a single rider opportunity. And you know, more courses are moving that way, and you know, they talk about.
So here's a catch with that. Mm-hmm. I think this is something that needs to be addressed on all podcasts.
Yep.
When you get a 2-person cart and you're paying $25 a cart,
yep,
the other guy shouldn't have to pay. All right, the cart's $25 whether there's 1 person in it or 2, but they're charging a cart fee for the second person. I just think it needs to be said, like. The cart fee is $25. 1 person or 2. You want to split it? You want one guy to pay? Doesn't matter. It's $25. Okay, it's not 50. It's 25. A Finn scooter, you get all to yourself. You get this cool little cycle Finn scooter, and it's $32.
Yeah.
So take that extra $7 and get yourself a Finn scooter.
There you go.
That's all.
Very cool.
Ooh.
But shout out, we had some side action going on at True Blue, and you kept betting me that I wasn't going to birdie the par 5s. I ended up shooting 1 under on the front, just to take your money.
Yeah, dude.
That was my my low 9 of the trip, and again, that's a big boy course. There's a lot of fun stuff out there. They can set it up real hard. It wasn't easy, but like I said, we had a good time.
Just 2 great courses. That whole day is just a day of great courses, great views, great everything, and I love doing Caledonia and True Blue in one day. There's no reason not to.
Exactly. So that left our last.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. No, I was just gonna say. So that left our last destination course. I mean. We got a chance to go down to the one and only ocean course at Kiowa, and again, I don't think that we can overstate what that course is. Again, I've mentioned it a couple times, but now as the content starts to drop, we don't have any video of that place. There's a couple of pictures.
Well, we have some. We have some video. Some video that's not the best quality, just because. You decided that you wanted to play golf in Tropical Storm Debbie.
Well, I knew 2 things. Number 1 is that it was 3 hours from Myrtle Beach just to get down there, and 2, it was $650 to play the course that we were playing for, basically just the caddy fee, thanks to your relationships down there. And I wasn't gonna not play. That I knew.
Yeah.
So I
knew
didn't
that
care.
about you also.
I did feel.
I knew that.
I did feel incredibly guilty.
I knew you were going to act like that.
Did
you?
You can't bring me to a golf course and then go, "Isn't it beautiful?" and then take me home like that. That's not fair. That's like taking an adopted kid from the orphanage, bringing him to a nice house, and go, "Look how nice we live," and then bringing him back to the orphanage. Like that would be the exact same thing.
That's like taking somebody to Disney World and not going to Disney World.
Is this another shot at Mama Romano?
She's not listening. So,
so yeah, we were there. We were playing. I didn't care if it was a hurricane.
Yeah, we played the front 9. The problem is they drop you off at the first tee. They shuttle you down. It's walking only. We had my oldest daughter with us, so she can play a little bit. She wasn't going to play a ton. And by the time we got out on the 4th hole, it was just downpouring. And you're kind of out there. We kind of hung out underneath the bathroom shack for a little while. And then we just said, you know what, we're wet. We might as well just keep going. Got to the turn. Adam shot 40 on the front. so he thought he was going to own the ocean course. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there telling Taylor, like, hey, you know, we're going to finish 9. Maybe we'll get a cart and, you know, I'll take you guys around on the back and I'll show you a couple of cool holes. Maybe we'll hit a few shots. We get to the turn and Adam's like, dude, I'll carry my own bag. I don't care. I don't care.
I told you guys,
And,
go
yeah.
on in, get dried off. You know, just point me in the direction of the 10th tee. And the caddy master, who was just the coolest guy in the world, and he's a Viking of a guy. He's this big, tall, giant dude, and he's like, if we start the back, we finish the back. And everybody's like, yeah, we'll play like a couple holes. And he's like, if we start the back, we finish. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, let's go. And
well, Adam thought he was going to take the ocean course to its knees, and
well, I thought I had a high 70s round locked up. And in a traditional link style, it was 4 holes out, 5 holes back. I played the 4 holes out in 1 over. I played the 5 holes back in 150 over, thanks to a 35-mile-an-hour headwind.
no, I think that has to be the last 5 holes would have to be 11 over.
Yeah, yep. So average the double bogey plus on each hole on the way in, and I think what's so funny though is you called it like weeks in advance. You're like, you know, a lot of people get to like, you know, hole 13 or 14 and they're like, let's just play the rest for fun. You know, like we're not keeping score anymore. And I'm like, that's not a thing. I just remember getting to the point of like, I'm so gassed and I'm so far over par. I'm like, can we please stop counting? I'm like, you know, it hurt my feelings. You know, I think a shot. So just to let you know, I have right now the next 3 scores to come off of my handicap are the 75 I shot at Caledonia, the 78 at True Blue, and the 88 adjusted to an 86 from Kiowa.
So, with that being said, let's move on to this next little part real quick. I don't know what time we're at right now. We're at
40 minutes.
41. So we got to, So that being said, we want to talk about handicaps.
Yes,
If
sir.
you guys haven't been watching this immaculate swing here today, down to a 7.7, dude.
Congratulations, man. That
The
was
goal.
that was the goal in January.
The goal was 8.
The goal was 8 in January. And what'd you start out at? Jamie was asking me. I said, I think he started out as a 72.
No, I think
was 11 or
I want to
12,
say an 11.4,
Yeah.
maybe 11.9, not sure. But I mean, we could look back at the videos, but yeah.
Yeah, but to drop 4 or 5 strokes in a year, especially you didn't go from a 30 to a 25. I mean, you know, to go from a 12 to a 7 is wildly impressive. You know, again, now you said you got a couple of things that are working well for you. What are they?
This move right here.
Yep, that we've
This
seen
is
on
the thing
every
right here.
video
I mean-
all year long. Yep.
Yeah. What else is working well? I mean, dude, sitting and actually talking. 2 podcasts ago, we sat and talked with John Winters with the wedges.
The Magician.
Really, really understanding what you're supposed to be doing with these wedges. And I think for me, my takeaway from that podcast and that interview with John was like, you're not just hitting a wedge. Like you're like here, I'm trying to hit this square and straight, right? That's my goal. If it tails a little bit, if it draws a little bit, but I'm really just trying to get this face square. And, you know, kind of tilted down, forward shaft lean. When we talked with John with the wedges, it wasn't that. It was not that. It was everything but that. And my takeaway from that was like, you are literally trying to paint a picture with a wedge of what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? That was my takeaway. It was like, it's not as simple, and I'm not saying it's difficult, and I'm not saying it's easy by any means either, but it's not as simple as just get up and chip. You know what I mean? It's something that you want to do with the face, the lie, the bounce, the grind, the grass, every single thing. And I I know that sounds a lot more difficult than you should be making it, but that was my takeaway from it, and that's really helped a lot.
I mean, now, granted, you've always been a very, very, very good chipper. I mean, just go back to our matches last year at the Ness, where you frustrated the boys over there, with your chipping prowess, and then back to the boys from Twofskill when we played in at our home course at Wiltwick when you had a chipping exhibition. So to say that you've taken that to another level is very, very impressive.
You boys better watch out.
Yeah. From a objective observer, again, we kind of talked about it. We got a chance to play a very cool course this week that we'll bring up in later episodes. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if Mike still had that big glaring slice, you would have shot 100 yesterday on that course. It just didn't, it didn't set up for a slice. But your power,
it really didn't set up for much.
No, but your power pull cut, and again, I got zero problem with it, is really, really effective because it doesn't go very far left. It doesn't come back very far right, but it finds the middle of the fairway more often than not. And the amount it moves from left to right is 10 yards. So if it's real narrow, if it's real straight, if you got to place it somewhere, you're able to do that. Now you've been making more birdies.
When I sit down with Colin Morikawa, me and him just sit there and talk about what we want to do with the driver.
Yeah.
That's all.
So you've been making more birdies lately, but you've been breaking 40 on 9 holes several times over the last couple of weeks too.
Yeah, which has been kind of nice. Like if I can sneak in a quick 9, not really stress about like hurrying up to squeeze 18 in. It's a little bit, it's fun.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
So the good news is,
we talked about that last year. Yep. We had a blind match, me and you, and one of my favorite rounds last year was a day when I didn't have any double bogeys. Right. Now, mind you, I still shot like an 84 that day. I had 12 bogeys, but no doubles. And I was like, dude, that just feels fun. It's just a lot nicer when, you don't have to search for your ball or take drops or punch out from behind trees.
Yep.
It's just fun.
So, again, I know we're running over time here, and you've been very humble about it. I don't even want to stick it here at the end of the podcast. But do you want to talk about the special moment you had last Friday while I was away working?
Yeah, had a special moment. Had a hole-in-one on number 5. Playing in a Ryder Cup match that you were supposed to be my partner in, but you had last-minute work stuff. It's 3 9-hole matches, so I called in my buddy Rick. The Rick, who the only other time that I shot 78 at Wiltwick, it was my second time ever playing with Rick. And he kept score. He was driving. He kept score, everything. I still got that scorecard, by the way. Thanks, Rick. He was my partner, and the first 9 is a scramble, right? So it's just, knock it around, take the best shot. We end up winning that match. The second 9 is a 2-man best ball. So you're playing your own ball, and your better ball versus their better ball. We ended up winning that one too. And I started putting together a pretty decent round then. Obviously, you can't count your score on a scramble because you're not playing your ball. But I started noticing hey, I got a little something going here. I got away with a par on 14 and 15, and that doesn't usually happen for me. So I'm like, all right. I think I ended up shooting a 41 on the back. And then we come back around to the front, and now it's single. So it's me versus one of their guys, straight up, not straight up.
With handicap, but
somebody
you guys were
got
close.
A stroke with handicap. Yeah. I think I gave him 1 on 7, and holding our own. We're me. I think Rick was about even, and I was 1 up. We come to 5, and the previous time I played that hole that day, I hit a 4-iron from 189, and it hit on the front and just stayed there. So I had a 20-foot putt. Well, the next time we get up there, 189, I can't hit a hybrid there. It's just too much
just gonna go over the
from
grain.
what it was playing.
Yep.
So I hit a 4-iron again. I just hit it really good. I hit what you want to do. And it landed just a little bit further than where it landed last time, and then took 2 hops, rolled pretty good, and went right at the stick. And I heard a ting. There were guys on 6 tee box that kind of turned and looked and then didn't say nothing. There were guys on 3 fairway that were kind of, their tee shot was over by 5. They kind of looked. There was guys on 4 in 5 fairway that were looking, and I'm like, all right. And I didn't hear anybody say anything. So I'm like, just my luck. It hits the flag and probably ricocheted into the rough 30 feet. But one guy in our group yelled to the one guy, because they were on the same Ryder Cup team. He was like, did that go in? And he jogged over there, and he was like, it's in. And everything, dude, high fives all around. Guys in the fair, all the guys that were around started screaming. It was pretty epic, dude. It was pretty cool. Great time to do it during the Ryder Cup. I ended up winning my match, so I ended up going 3-0 that day.
Nice.
This is where my humble brag comes. I'm 5-0-1 in Ryder Cup matches, so I'm like Sergio pretty much. But it was I will say, kind of a crappy time to do it. Although everybody was really good, I did sit at the bar for a while, and nobody said you owe me a drink.
Yep.
Nobody. So then I ended up hopping in a car with a couple guys and going out and watching the rest of the matches. And then people started catching wind for the whole team and the other teams. And they're like, you're buying me a drink. I'm like, when we get in, just ask.
Yep.
And we got back in, and I don't know, I kind of got lucky again because the match was like neck and neck, and it ended up coming down to the last group, and we ended up tying. And then everybody was like, trying to figure out if we should do a tiebreaker because we played all day and it ends in a tie. The other team gets to keep the trophy. Then we were trying to figure out money. And it all just they ended up keeping the trophy. Everybody got their money back. And then I bought 4 drinks, and then everybody left. I was like,
wow,
2 wins. It's a hole-in-one and a cheap bar tab.
Yeah,
but
no kidding.
If anyone that was there that I didn't buy a drink for, I will buy you a drink the next time I see you at the bar.
Very cool, dude.
But, dude, that's the second hole-in-one we've had in September while doing 75 hard. So neither one of us could drink.
Yep. So I think it's exciting because, your second hole-in-one ever. The first one came years ago at the Ocean Course. But, as you've been getting progressively better, that's a no-joke par 3. 189 yards, it's downhill, it's heavily bunkered. There's more 5s there than there are 3s. There's probably more 6s there than there are 2s. And there's probably more 10s there than there are 1s. So it's if somebody's going to get a hole-in-one, it's not going to be on number 5. And you got it, man. So congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Now I'm more disappointed than ever I wasn't there. But, awesome sauce, dude, man. Really, really, really congratulations from all of us at Just the Tips.
I will say this. I was kind of torn on who I tell first out of you, Eric, and Puddles. So I did it all at the same time.
There you go.
So I did it all at the same time.
Nice. But again, congratulations on the Ryder Cup win. And what'd you end up shooting that day?
So on the back 9 was a 41, front 9 was a 37, dude.
Yeah.
37.
Yep. So tearing it up with an eagle. So
an eagle.
That's awesome.
And then I think I birdied 2 also. Yeah, I think I birdied 2. So that's 3 under. So I think I had 4 bogeys. Yeah, I think I bogeyed 5.
Or 6, rather.
Oh, and let's talk about this because I don't think 6. Number 9.
Yep.
I just want to. So our match was over. I closed the guy out on 7. I'm like, let's go play 8. I just had a hole-in-one on a par 3. Let's
see if we can keep it rolling.
Let's try to play another par 3. I bogeyed it. But then I wanted to finish the 9 to be able to post a score with the hole-in-one in it. And I hit I pulled a drive on 9, and I'm 200 yards out of the rough, and it's a front pin. I'm like, all right, let me just hit this layup with a 6-iron. Dude, I didn't swing hard. I didn't crush this thing. I actually was hitting a layup 6-iron from 200. This thing lands just short, hops on, and trickles past the hole from 200 yards with a 6-iron. I hit a 6-iron further than I hit the 4-iron off the tee. And I was like, dude, am I eagling 9 right now? I'm like, this is rolling right at the hole. And then it rolled like 8 feet past, and then 2-putt par. So, and a tap-in par on 9 is always nice too, right?
No kidding. So again, dude, just congratulations between the the handicap, the hole-in-one, shooting in the 70s. Again, we played a couple of times since then. You've been playing really, really, really well. All arrows are pointing up for you. So awesome job, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, dude. And then after last week's podcast, we talked about the member. Next year, we got to take this thing down, dude.
But by then, you ought to be like a +2, if you just keep trending the way you are. So
I hope so, man. I just got to keep working at it. See, I'm one of those guys, and I appreciate what you said to me. You said it, I don't know where we were. You said it last week, and I said I was going to get there like 2 hours earlier. You're like, no, that's what he does. That's his thing. Like practicing and grinding and feeling. Like I'm a physical kind of guy. Like even Jeff Mesa, that the head pro at Innis. Like, I'm like, dude, Jeff, like, grab my arms and put them where they need to be. So he's, like, coming behind me and he's like, you all right? I'm like, dude, just do it. It's fine. Just do it. Because I need to feel those things. And that's how, that's how my body feels what the golf swing should look like. Like, I know, like, even on, like, a real swing here, I know you can't see me, but they can. It's like, when I get here, I know that this is too flat so that my next move is there, and it needs to go the other way. It needs to get here, and then I need to go there.
Yep.
But I'm working on it.
Yep.
But I'm also a little chicken of the duck hook. I'm really scared of the
you should be.
of the pull snap hook duck hook.
Yep.
So
like I said, man, all arrows are pointing up for you. Again, I don't know. We got a couple of things coming up here to close out the year, but then we have another.
I don't like the way you say that.
Well, we got another epic golf trip coming up though, so that's exciting too. It's almost finalized. Yep. Our Thanksgiving getaway is starting to shape up, and some tittling about our February golf trip could be bigger and more epic than ever before. So stay tuned for that too.
Dude, that would be so great. That'd be so great. And listen, I don't look at the end of the golf season until there's snow on the ground. So I don't even have like a date in mind.
I look when the tournaments run out. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, when the tournaments are done, that's technically the end of the season. But again, we'll keep playing until.
Oh, you mean like the scheduled?
Yeah,
the scheduled stuff at Wilwick.
When the schedule runs out, that's kind of the unofficial end of the year. But I'm one of those guys too that. Memorial Day to Labor Day is not summer. Summer is short season. Golf season is until you break out the skis to go cross-country skiing at the golf course, So
yeah, man.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, dude, it was a very good podcast. Again, thank you very much to all our sponsors and a couple of new ones coming at you, a couple of old sponsors coming back around for some more love. But just a teaser too, we're going to be offering sponsorship packages for the title sponsorship of our podcast. So if you're interested, reach out to us at justthetip's2023 at Gmail and take a look at being our title sponsor for the balance of 2024 and 2025. So, but
and listen, one last thing.
Yep.
We got the 12 days of Christmas gifts coming out start of November. So we're putting the list together right now. We're just going to tease you guys. We're going to let you know that we're doing the top 12 gifts to get your golf dad / golf husband. We have a good list that we want to get out to the wives or the moms to buy dads. And that's going to be coming to you 12 days in a row in November to give you guys enough time to
Golf.
Get them
Golf tie.
bought and wrapped.
Golf tie, dozen yellow nitros, tees with your names on them.
The toilet putter.
The toilet putter. Yep. A golf book of funny sayings. None of that.
We're gonna
Wait
do.
till you see this list.
We're gonna do the 12 things also not to get them as well.
Yep.
All right. So make sure you golf dads and golf husbands, send this podcast right now to your significant other or whoever's buying Christmas gifts for you.
Whoever's in charge of making your holidays special.
Yeah. Send this them and then make sure that they watch this before they buy the gifts.
There you go.
All right.
All right, dude. Hey, listen, looking
All
good.
right, dude.
Looking good there. I'm getting back to it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, been a good podcast, just over an hour. So we'll see how the computer likes uploading that, and we'll go from there. So, with that said,
all right.
I'm Adam.
I'm Mike.
Just the
Just
tips.
the tips.
Just the tips.